I need to decide what I'm reading during the month of May. My TBR is a bit ridiculous as always, but I have a lot of really fun plans and I need to decide which ones I need to prioritize, which ones you want to see, because choices have to be made. Although I have been reading a ton of books so far. I want to say I'm like 45 books read in 2026 in like 4 months. It's insane. And I've been reading some thick ones too. I'm not going to complain. I'm having a lot of fun. Probably my best reading year ever. So what I'm currently reading quickly, I started reading Vow of Thieves because I read Dance of Thieves recently and I ordered the next one because I wanted to continue, and I just started it. I'm only like 106 pages into it. I had to put it down to finish another challenge, and that's okay. We're back to it though. This is a romantasy that had been on my shelf for 8 years unread. Well, book 1, not book 2. And I was saying how book 1 ended up giggling, kicking my feet for the first half, and a lot of you actually did read book 1 and also loved it, which is like the best thing to hear, because I don't tend to recommend romantasy books because I don't think I'm really a romantasy reader, but we're changing that this year. Not this month, but soon. But yes, I feel like at this point the political intrigue really started and things are getting dramatic. I'm not ready for it, but I will be. Basically, the main character is sent to explore some laws that have been broken, and you know, enemies to lovers. Book 1 was great for that, and then there's a lot more political intrigue in the whole world at this point. So things get dramatic with more and more dramatic with each book. She did the same thing with the Revenant Chronicles, so I'm ready for this. Currently, I'm reading The Last Contract of Isako by Fonda Lee, which I loved the Greenwald Saga by her. Still have not forgiven her for what she did to me with that last book, but that was a fantasy series, and this is a hard sci-fi. I am 63% into it. It's coming out on May 5th, and I've been trying to read this book for like 2 months, I want to say, and I'm not giving up. I will be finishing it before it comes out, but it's a little slow for me at this point. This one is a hard sci-fi. You are following a woman in her 50s, which again, I appreciate novels where you're not just following 18-year-olds. And she is like a sword woman. She's hired to do things that people don't want to do. So the rich people hired her either to people or usually to tell them that they have to go outside, because this one is on different planets. So a hard sci-fi. Communication with Earth is gone. They are very, very isolated. They're trying to colonize the planet, make it habitable to people, and it's not. Things are not going super well, and she's kind of investigating a murder of someone that she knew that she actually taught him how to fight. And yeah, it's probably her last contract because her last employer died, and if she isn't hired by someone else quickly, she also has to go outside. So that's kind of what's going on, but it's very, very slow. I thought it would be a bit more intense for a mission of like trying to figure out what happened, murder mystery kind of thing. But yeah, it's slow. So I'm not totally sold on it. I will keep you updated if it changes. Again, there's less than 40% left, but it took me forever to get there. I read it before bed and it puts me to sleep. So I do have some contradictory goals for the year, but we're not going to acknowledge that. I want to use my library more, but I also want to read the books on my shelves more. So we're just going to balance it out. Again, I'm reading a lot more than usual, so we might be able to make it work. So I do want to read some controversial books that are coming out. The books that I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, and I want to see how I feel, because why not? And then I can tell you if they're worth it or not. So Julie Chen is Dead is a thriller kind of lit fic. Main character, her twin sister was an influencer and she died, so she decides to replace her and just take on her life, but it's more of a thriller than you expect. So I don't know, I feel like this is going to be a good palate cleanser. But yes, I feel like I've heard really good things and really bad things, and again, I feel like it happens so often. Mixed reviews, I just need to know now. So I'm going to try that. There's also Dagger Mouth, which the first time I heard about it, I thought it was horror, but turns out it's romantasy, which again, I'm slowly trying to get into it. I think this summer I'm going to make like an actual series of me trying to figure out what my taste is like, because I'm going to have to just try a bunch, and this one is a popular one, so I'm curious how I'm going to feel about this. It's an enemies to lovers, which again, works for me. This one, you're following a mercenary who botches the assassination of the president's son and ends up forced to marry him. Maybe I will be also giggling, kicking my feet. I need some of that this year. So that's the first one. And again, I've heard very mixed reviews of this one, so I just want to know. And also The Night We Met by, I'll be honest, I need to know how I'm going to feel, because I really love Part of Your World by her. And ever since then, it's been a bit hit and miss. So this is her newest released. The Night We Met, you're following friends to lovers, which has rarely worked for me. I feel like in general, I just not feeling the chemistry, or I feel like there's an issue. I think she's dating someone else, and like cheater trope is not my thing. I think there was another book by her that I gave up on. Is it Just Friends? Because cheater trope, I can't stand it. So I want to know, again, I've heard some people say they read it a day and other people that they kind of hated it. So again, this is what the library is for, so I will be reading it and letting you know how it goes. I have a few audiobooks too, because again, I'm trying desperately to get back into them. I used to love them and I kind of stopped for like a year. I do have Everything is Tuberculosis, which is 6 hours. How hard can that be? Like, nonfiction tends to be easy for me to get through as audiobooks. You just put them on when you're brushing your teeth. Like, come on, Emily, you can do it. So this is by John Green. It is The History and Persistence of Our Deadliest Infection. I didn't know that was the deadliest infection. I feel like it doesn't sound as dramatic, probably because I've read a lot of classics and I feel like it was romanticized a lot during that period until they realized that, oh no, the poor people also get it. If you know, you know. So I will be listening to that. But then I want to try to get to more than one. So another possible contender is A Real Emergency, Stories from the Ambulance. It's supposed to be like kind of a funny nonfiction. So I thought, again, maybe something easier to go through maybe will work to get me back into it. Also, it's getting sunnier and I feel like I might go on walks and listen to audiobooks. The question I have though is that which other one should I try to get to? I feel like 3 is pretty reasonable. So I have 2 possibilities. Either I get into summer mode already, which again, it's sunny today, so I'm feeling, I mean, it's still long sleeves though, but it's getting warmer. I have One Golden Summer. Is it too early to listen to that? I have seen this author everywhere, and I know they're more like romance than what I usually go for, but I, again, am in the mood this year. I want something fun and light sometimes between all those dark books that I read. And this could be a fun audiobook, again, to go on walks and listen to. Or do I do Evicted, which is another dark nonfiction. Poverty and Profit in the American City. I did just read Poverty by America from the same author, and it was really good. But should I do the darker but interesting nonfiction, or should I do the light, fun summer read in May? I mean, May is kind of summer. Listen, I live in Canada, so I feel like until like now, it did not feel springy at all. So I'm trying to catch up to everyone else. I feel like I see people online wearing skirts and shorts and dresses, and I'm still wearing sweats and coats. Another mixed reviewed one is The Ending Writes Itself, which was co-written between V. Schwab and one of her friend who's a screenwriter. And the premise sounded appealing. You have 6 writers who are shipped to this private island from this really famous author, and he's giving them the chance to be the one that will be able to finish his current novel that he's writing, and only one can win. And I think it becomes like a murder mystery. Someone is trying to kill the other ones. So I feel like that sounds appealing. It's like locked room murder mystery. I tend to like those. So I don't know why it's been reviewed kind of mixedly. Is that a word? Either way, I want to know what's wrong with the book. Why is not everyone liking it? I've also been enjoying speculative fiction, and I want to read more books like that. One of them would be Sky Full of Elephants, which that's the one where, yeah, white people no longer exist. They all got up and went into the ocean or something. And it's about what it is like, what does it mean to be black in a world where white people don't exist anymore? Which, again, I've seen mixed reviews, but I feel like with these kind of premises, sometimes you read the negative reviews and I'm like, okay. So we'll see how I personally feel about that. And there's also another speculative fiction I've seen was The Blueprint, which like both of them have really cool covers. I feel like sci-fi lately, they've been getting really cool cover, but like mixed reviews. Either way, this one it's actually compared to Octavia Butler's books, which the bar is high, but I'm intrigued. So in this one, you're following a black girl who, through an algorithm, they are told who they are going to marry, what they're going to do with their lives, where they're going to live. So again, kind of speculative fiction, sci-fi. I had added it to my TBR because it caught my eye, but then again, it got mixed reviews at this point, so I just want to know. I feel like sometimes it's more intriguing to read the book that you've seen mixed reviews than the ones that everyone love, because those ones hurt when you actually don't like them. At least when it's mixed, it's fine, you know? I actually got this one as a gift late for my birthday, and I have been really wanting to read this. This is The Everlasting. I have had mixed experiences with this author. I couldn't finish The Once and Future Witches, but then I really like this other short story. It was what, like 30 pages or something? This was really good. So I wanted to try something else by her. A lot of you said that this one was really good, and caught my eye. In this one, you're following a man, and he is really into this woman in history. She has this big myth about what she's done, and he's like basically in love with her, and he time travels back into her time, and he helps her go through these events knowing full well how it ends, because again, time travel. So I think this is a romance, kind of tragic time travel, and it's pretty and pretty short too, so I want to see what the hype is about this author. I really want to love her. I mean, I really like the second book, short story I read by her, so I'm hoping this kind of sounded a little similar. Maybe it's going to work for me too. I started a year reading a million nonfictions, and then I totally stopped. The one I was currently reading, I have made no progress. It was getting me into a slump, but just with nonfiction books. So I've decided we're switching things up, and I'm going to try other ones and hope that one of them will get me out of here. So these are 5 possible physical ones. You can let me know which ones you think I should try and you think that will actually be unputdownable, because again, I read so many the first like 2-3 months and then like nothing. So I do have 21 things you may not know about the Indian Act, helping Canadians make reconciliation with Indigenous peoples a reality. That was a mouthful. Super short though. I've heard really great things, and it's short. 21 things. I could read like one thing a day. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this author. This is Cass, The Origins of Discontent. He also has written another book that someone again got me for my birthday. It's on the shelf there. I'll show you in my next haul, but I really want to try this. It's about, yes, caste system like in India, but also in the US with racism, and I've heard again nothing but praises. Even some of you saw in the background in my other video and you were telling me you need to read this. It's amazing. So like, right? I should. Also, it's really floppy, which like makes me want to read it even more. Actually, they're all really floppy. For some reason, it really changes the experience. It's the one thing, like reading ebooks will never do it as much for me as this. I also just got, again last month, King Leopold's Ghost, A Story of Greed, Terror, and Heroism in Colonial Africa. I was recommended this book because I feel like I've learned nothing in school. I swear, we learned history for like Europe, Canada, US, just the good parts, and like maybe Egypt like 4,000 years ago. Like we learned nothing that is like controversial. It could be my high school too. It was like mildly religious, so that doesn't help. But this is what the genocide happened in Congo with the King of Belgium, Leopold II of Belgium. So it's not something I learned about like anywhere. I swear sometimes I feel like I learn more from like random TikTok videos about these kind of topics than I ever did in school. Like, I need to learn about this. So I got this one. I also read another book by Naomi Klein earlier this year, Doppelganger. Absolutely loved it. The book was good, but like I feel like I liked her brain and I need to learn more by her. And this is, I think, her most popular novel, The Shock Doctrine, The Rise of Disaster Capitalism. I feel like I'm realizing that some topics that just never really appealed to me, it depends on the author. And again, I really liked her brain, which sounds kind of creepy, but I wanted to read more by her, so I thought might as well read her most popular book. And I also have another about Indigenous people. This one is Highway of Tears, A True Story of Racism, Indifference, and in the Pursuit of Justice for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. These titles are really hard. But yeah, it's another difficult topic, floppy book. But I have a lot of possibility for nonfiction. Again, I really want to go back to just eating them up, which I did for like 2-3 months, and it was so nice. And the other dumb book put me in a reading slump, so I still have more, and honestly, I feel like I shouldn't, because that's enough. Emily, like, calm down. How many books are you gonna read? But this one is really small. Okay, the last one. I was hoping to read this in April. Like, there's a few I was hoping to read in April, but then I read Alchemize, which was like 1,000 pages, and that took a lot of time. But this one is horror. In America, demons wear white hoods. It's the alternative version of our world, where in 1915, there's the KKK, the White Hood people, and they're actually demons, and that's like the horror story, the main characters trying to them. So that's the story. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this one. Super short horror, but I've read a couple of his other books. They were fantasy though, so I'm curious to see how I'm going to feel about this one. I'm hoping we'll love it as much as everyone else. Maybe it's going to be a palate cleanser between other ones. Maybe. Okay, so this is where I need your help. I mean, I did for these two, but I have too many challenges. Like I said, I was going to do the one with like mixed reviewed books from the library, because again, might as well get them from the library. But the physical books that I have on my shelf, I want to do my read it and haul it, as always. And I don't know if I want to do a 1 week, one shelf, or if I should do reading the books you think I'm gonna hate that are on my shelf. How do we feel? I feel like I've been not in a reading slump at all this year, so maybe I should try to keep going and just do 1 week one shelf and keep the other one for like next month, depending on how it goes. Because again, I just read a big book and I'm scared to lose my momentum, so maybe. And then the other challenge I want to do is I think I'm going to do another round of reading the lowest and highest rated books on my shelf. So which ones do you want to see first? Last time I started with lowest, so should I do the same thing, or do you want to see another one with the highest ones first? You let me know. But I think that's probably going to be enough because I have too many books, too many challenges I want to do during the same month. So your decision, let me know in the comment section. Thumbs up, subscribe. I'll put more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out. If you haven't seen my April wrap up, I read 10 books and it was very mixed. A lot of great books, but a lot of awful ones too. If you want to see also my last book haul, I'll put that on screen and I will see you then. Bye.